So, East Coast, West Coast game. Let me give you a little backstory for me. I think that would be very, very helpful to you to understand where I'm going with this. Anybody who knows me is going to know this is super true. All right, you can vet me with any of my friends on Facebook, etc., all that jazz. I don't know, Insta, any of that social media stuff, right? I've been proposed to 5 times. God bless those men who are willing to take that gamble. They definitely saved their lives, because my mama used to call me the bachelorette. I have absolutely no interest, as you can tell, in a committed relationship, while other girls in high school were planning their weddings. By the way, I'm heteronormative, but this stuff can apply to any relationship and any, orientation, gender fluidity, all that stuff. Even if you're in like a total V-cell relationship, if you're like going to be doing time with somebody, as I did, doing time in the same room with somebody 24/7, I just feel like that old saying, familiarity breeds contempt, is definitely what's going to happen in every situation. I like to tell people I look real good from far. You don't want to see me up close. We all have our ups and downs when it comes to how we handle things. And we all have this kind of like built into us Disney fantasy and rom-com fantasy about how things are going to be, They work it out, it's a joke, roll the credits, happily ever after. But that's not real life, cats and kittens, I always saw that it wasn't real life. So in high school, when other girls were planning their wedding, I was planning my first artist's loft. I couldn't understand why they were going down that same road that everybody had before us had gone down and truly had proven to be a complete disaster. It didn't look to me like it had changed. So, as I like to say, I am definitely a professionally single person, all right? I work really hard to dodge those moon-eyed, gooey-hearted, oh my gosh, romanticisms, you're the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life kind of stuff, all right? First of all, I'm from New York. Don't stroke my ego, because I know you're looking to stick a knife in there somewhere, all right? I came out looking over my shoulder. We come out watching our back. So, and especially where I come from, so what I wanted to rap on about basically was East Coast, West Coast dating styles. So again, this could apply to anything. This is gender fluidity. This could totally apply to any same-sex relationship, however you roll, even polyamory, all right? So it's just how people deal with people, right? You got your good guy, nice guy concept, good girl, nice girl concept, good bae, good, nice bae concept. Now rolling from the East Coast, I'm not lying, okay? You just go up and down the East Coast. A woman does not approach a man. If you approach a guy, you get what's coming to you. Literally, you got stupid tattooed across your forehead, okay? Because first of all, they think that's super forward. Second of all, they like to take control. They're the more dominant, all right? They prefer that whole masculine takes the action, feminine receives the flirty compliments kind of scenario. And the third thing is you never ask an East Coast man if he's married or he's single, because every man on the East Coast is single. Dig? Where I come from, marriage means mistress on the side. So, going to the West Coast, now we have, which, please don't be disrespected, but remember, this is a comedy rant. This is me just riffing. So if you're taking it personally, you didn't read the disclaimer about not having thin skin, best get out of here quick. On the West Coast, you got all these touchy-feely wussy men, because they don't have the balls to approach a woman, right? So here's what they're doing. This is the play, right? This is the run and play on the West Coast, and this could be a female too doing this whole situation. I need to approach you. I need to get deep with you. I need to know your wounds. We need to bond. We need to heal each other. I feel so connected. We're so connected on the astral plane. I feel that we're soulmates. We're twin flames. I know that we spent other lifetimes together. But just like they don't have the balls to approach, they also don't have the balls to have a solid, clean breakup, okay? The guys on the East Coast or the girls on the East Coast, they're going to try and keep you as a side honey. Baby, baby, please, right? That's where that comes from. And that'd probably be down in Southern Cali. I'm not playing, and maybe some of the rougher areas. but like on the West Coast and like through that like Midwest range, they want to like keep you as a friend. Now, this is some really screwed up skullfuckery in my opinion, okay? At least on the West Coast, you kind of like come out knowing like everybody's got game. You know, the good guys on the West Coast are generally, or the good girls on the West Coast are probably like, you know, your teachers, your cops, your firemen, you know, the good guys, right? The people who are the straight edge. But again, the straight edges, like the good guys are just like the bad guys, like covert, right? Like they want to stay, they're doing this thing called conscious uncoupling. Anybody who's got property, we're not talking, this is so not for the married people. If you're in the married set, you're never going to be able to do this shit. With property comes chaos and anger, frustration, you know, greed, ugliness, right? So, but the kids are doing this thing called conscious uncoupling, and I'm like pitching this for like the long haul. Remember, everything I'm doing, like when I'm looking at social commentary and the way things run in society and culture, I always think of that 80s flick flashback. Yeah, say that 10 times fast when you're not really quite, yeah, okay, so let me like tap on the ganja goddess and we'll talk about that. So they're doing this conscious uncoupling thing where they stay friends. So like the new girlfriend has to actually, or the new boyfriend has to actually go through the gate of the old girlfriend, boyfriend, first of all, right? As if getting to know somebody isn't hard enough. Then, like, you know, I'm thinking, all right, if you get past this gate and we're all really good friends and now we're all hanging out and it's all good and groovy, and yeah, we could definitely be like a totally chill set of people until, right, the wedding rings go on, the kids get involved, the marriage gets stale, things go a little south and sour, and you start to romanticize that first relationship that you were in, that you're still so very good friends with this person. And some of them, you know, we got more than 3 or 4 of these options that we're going to take into us for the next 10 or 15 years as bosom buddies, if you will, right? So I'm looking at like the long haul disaster and fallout that's about to pitch on this scene. And again, you already know how I feel about their the resurgence of the pull-out method. But then again, I believe if you're living in an off-grid community and you have absolutely no income, condoms are probably pretty expensive, yeah? So I'm figuring like, what's going to happen in 15, 20 years when these conscious uncouplings start to create these really intricate and very complicated relationships where how do you even know why somebody's actually giving you counsel or if they're really your good friend? I mean, I hate to say this, but the truth of the matter is everybody is looking out for their own reward. Even when you think you're the good guy, you know, check yourself. Because the truth of the matter is we're all in it for our own game. It's human nature. It's just an avatar anyway. Most of us that are aware of that, we know it doesn't matter if you go left or you go right or you decide to go straight. It doesn't matter if you choose the red pill or the blue pill. It's going to go down the way it's meant to go down. It's all based upon your next choice. You can turn this off right now and that changes your whole perspective and the rest of your day, right? So really, I'm wondering about the fact that I'm assuming that it's all this groovy plant medicine and oh, I'm so going to get into the plant medicine. Oh, I have to talk about this. I come, as you can tell, from Gen X, all right? Like, I was definitely used to people getting naked on the dance floor. You know, like, it was totally a scene. But this generation is moving into an incredible set of denial strategies, which I find really, really interesting. So it's like, I don't do hard drugs, but I do plant medicine once a month, or I do plant medicine every 2 weeks, or I microdose. No, I don't do anything that's addictive, but I take this ground powder, which is literally tobacco leaf, and I throw it up my nose literally probably 20, 30 times a day. But I don't do anything addictive. You know, I don't drink caffeine. So the denial concept that's being woven into some of these practices, I could actually see them maybe even introducing them. You know how, come on now, if you came from the slave in 80s or 90s rave scene, is some of these enjoyable diversions are really hard to give up, yeah? And then you're going to go and have like this incredible resurgence of pull-out sex where all of a sudden, boom, a couple kids dropped in the span of a few months, a span of a few years. You got Irish twins on your hands, right? And you're so like busy like putting this tobacco powder up your nose or doing your San Pedro ritual in the backyard that you can't even see what your 3-year-old or your 5-year-old is doing, right? So, you know, think about how that's going to actually affect our culture. I see a lot of this particular behavior also of wanting to be an ostrich, so to speak, about politics going to be politics, and like the resurgence of history again. I feel like it's the 60s on repeat. There's a very strong resurgence of denial subculture falling into the middle of the American subconscious for the youth that are coming up. And I'm really curious to see how that ends up playing out politically. I do feel that that's going to end up falling very much on the shoulders of the generation before them, as we've seen both of the generations before us and what's coming up underneath, and it looks like it's on repeat, kids. So seriously, I feel that some of this dating on the East Coast, West Coast, as far as like game, I feel like it's really funny because some of that game is going to literally play out long, whereas on the East Coast, it definitely gets chopped off. On the East Coast, you're the wife, you're the husband, that's it. That person better be out of your phone. That person better be off of your social media. That person better not even be mentioned while you're rolling over in your sleep, you dig? So this is going to be a very interesting counterculture, I feel, coming up within the next... And by the way, just so you all catch the skinny on this, just like the West Coast never changes, the East Coast never changes either. You could still go to a New York bar and hear summer wind. Well, that's my role for the minute. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it made you laugh a little. It's definitely making me sit back and think. And definitely, you can bet your sweet Betty that I am preaching to my son. Condoms. Condoms. Condoms.